Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chess, and today we will discuss about Moai. I don't know how to pronounce Moai. Let's see here. It's pronounced Moai, or um, I can listen to this, but I turn off my sound. As you can see at the top left corner there, I kind of muted the sound just so that so that my phone doesn't randomly create sound or something like that, right? But yeah, anyway, Spanish Moai, Rapa Nui Moai, or Moai, I guess, or statue in Rapa Nui. Okay, so it means statue, literally. Um, Anyway, we'll talk about Moai. The previous one we talk about what is it called again? The Stonehenge, right? Yeah, like Stonehenge in England or England. And today we'll talk about Moai. I don't know where it's placed as for now, but yeah, there is also other stuff as well that we want to talk. But um, I I see through my lists and I see a lots of things that are about big blocks. So I might want to scratch some of those topics and probably discuss about something else that are still structures, using stone, right? More like stone structures, man-made, right? Possibly man-made. But yeah, anyway, we'll talk about Moai. It is a statue. Basically, it's a monolith that is carved by the Rapa Nui people on Easter Island. I don't know where Easter Island is. In Eastern Polynesia, I don't know where that is as well. Between the years 2015, 1250 and 1500. Um, Nearly half are still at Rano Raraku, the main Moai quarry, but hundreds were transported from there and set on stone platforms called ahu around the island's perimeter. Almost all Moai have overly large heads, which comprise 3/8 the size of the whole statue. Okay, so they're all big heads then. The Moai are chiefly the living faces, Aringa Ora, of deified ancestors Aringa Ora Ata Tepuna. The statues still gazed inland across their clan lands when Europeans first visited the island 1722, but all of them had fallen by the latter part of the 19th century. The Moai were toppled in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, possibly as a result of European contact or internecine tribal wars. Okay, that's unfortunate, but alright. Excuse me 1 second. I need to drink. Don't forget to hydrate yourself, guys. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, don't forget to drink. Anyway, Moai facing inland at Ahu Tongariki or Tongariki, restored by Chilean archaeologist Claudino Cristino in the 1990s. Oh, interesting. They were all placed there kind of recently, right? By this person, probably. This archaeologist. Okay. Yeah, like it says, there's been like tribal wars, right, over here, and then it got toppled down, right? So yeah, it's just better to put that back into its original state, right, which is stand straight. But yeah, without all the disrespect, I don't mean to disrespect, but if you see this, it's kind of funny, right? They have this facial expression that they just like basically stares at you, right? Like oh yeah, oh okay, oh yeah, oh yeah, sure, yeah, like they make those kind of expression, right? They just make the flat expressions, looking at you, like listening to you, basically, right? It's kind of interesting as well. And then I also found some memes as well, in which they actually have a lot. This is actually only part of their body, right? Especially if the one that's only their head, and that their body is essentially underground, and then their toes, their leg fingers, their foot fingers or toes, their toes are basically the stone hands, right? So yeah, actually quite funny meme there. But yeah, Anyway, this is the statue right now. There's like 5, 10, 15 of them. I don't know if this is all of them or there's also some other ones as well that are not transported just yet, or that they are too big, or maybe they are only their heads, right? Who knows, right? Also, as you can see over here, their heights are not uniformed. Some of them are shorter than the others. This guy over here is, probably the tallest one. Considering that this is probably in the background as well, right? Like as descending from the closest to the furthest, yet it still looks bigger, right? So this guy's probably the biggest one, I think. 3D model, click to interact, not gonna click, but yeah, interesting. That's the head basically, toppled down, okay. Although, as you can see over here, this one is not that, what is it, like here you can kind of see the body, right? I don't know if the original Moai is only the heads and then this body is then the people that are nowadays try to recover, they build the body as their the place for the head probably, or maybe this is their original form, because usually if you take a look at Moai, they're only the heads, right? And there's no body as well. So I don't know which one is which, right? Which one is the true form, basically. But yeah, um, the production and transportation of the more than 900 statues. Okay, so there's a lot of them, not only 15 apparently. Considered as a remarkable creative and physical feat. The tallest Moai erected, called Paro, was almost 10 meters. Okay, so that's basically two-story building. Like I said again, usually the height between the floor to the ceiling, it's about 4 meters, so it's like a two-story plus roof, right? So yeah, like basically a two stories house, basically, 10 meters or 33 feet, and weigh 82 tons. Okay, that's heavier than the stones that were used for Stonehenge, right? Because for Stonehenge, I think it was 25 tons, but this is 82 tons, which is about 80 tons basically, right? 80,000 tons. That I mean 80,000 kilograms. That's about um, almost 180,000 pounds. So yeah, the heaviest Moai erected was a shorter but squatter Moai at Ahutongariki, weighing 86 tons. Oh, okay, so at Ahutongariki, it means it's one of these, right? One of these guys. It's probably maybe this guy over here or this guy over here. I don't know which one. Maybe neither of those, but yeah. So yeah, there you go. One unfinished sculpture, if completed, would have been approximately 21 meter tall, with a weight about 145, 165 tons. That is so big. That's what she said. But yeah, description. Moai sat in the hillside at Ranuraku. Oh yeah, okay. So here we go. This is the one that doesn't have the body. Either that or maybe their body is actually buried down in the underground. That's also a possibility, right? um, like if you think about it, they don't just stand like this, right? Because it will get toppled easily, right? So some part of it, I would say, the same as Stonehenge, I think. Some of their parts are already probably, underground as well, right? Just to make it so that these things can stand still, right? But yeah, Moai are monolithic statues, and their minimalist style reflects forms found throughout Polynesia. Moai are carved from volcanic ash. Volcanic ash. Oh, that's actually interesting. Um, so basically, they um, uh, took chunks of rocks, I guess, from a volcanic mount, or it says volcanic ash, right? The thing is that either the ash that the volcanic erupts, and they got created or collected into some kind of a mold, and it basically it got shaped into these blocks, right? And then they carved it, or they actually took a chunk of the actual mountain, volcanic mountain, right? That also a possibility, right? and then they carved. The human figures would be outlined in the rock wall first, then chipped away until only the image was left. Outlined in the rock wall first. I don't know what that means. Rock wall. Chipped away. So chipped away is basically getting carved, right? So yeah, like a block of stone, a monolith, and then you carve it out, and then it becomes moai, right? Would be okay. Over large heads, 3 to 5 ratio between the head and the trunk. Sculptural trait consistent with Polynesian belief in the sanctity of the chiefly head. Have heavy brows and elongated noses with a distinctive fish hook shaped curl of the nostrils. The lips protrude in a thin pout. Like the nose, the ears are elongated and oblong in form. The jaw lines stand out against the truncated neck, the torsos are heavy, and sometimes the clavicles are subtly outlined in stone. Okay, so basically it is an entirety of a statue, right? It's not only head, but it has the neck as well. It has the torso. It has the the shoulders. I think what it's called clavicle. I guess that's like your traps, right? Your um, yeah, your traps or your shoulders basically. And yeah, don't know about the flex though. Don't know if they have legs. In bas relief and rest against the body in various positions, hands and a long, slender fingers resting along the crests of the hips, meeting at the hammy or loincloth, with the thumbs sometimes pointing towards the navel. Generally, the anatomical features of the pecs are not detailed, but sometimes bear a ring and girdle motif and the buttocks and lower back. Except for one kneeling the moai, the statues do not have clearly visible legs. Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to ask. Basically, what about their legs, right? Do they have legs? Apparently not. At least not clearly visible legs, right? Like I said again, maybe some parts of them are buried underground, potentially as well, right? This is my quarry at Rano Raraku. Oh, okay. So it's basically a quarry or hills, right? Mountains, basically, right? And they just apparently just got scattered around this area. So yeah, it's actually again quite interesting to visit myself there, right? But again, I don't think I'm going to go there because I don't have money. Maybe like this channel grows up, guys. Maybe you can help me out. Maybe I can save some money and actually travel there. Like me and some people as well, right? Just to document this kind of stuff. That would be cool. I would be, I will hands down. I guess I will. Jump right into it, I guess. But yeah, anyway, though Moai are whole body statues, they are often referred to as Easter Island heads in some popular literature. Yeah, like because it is in the Easter Island, and then that sometimes only their heads that are visible, right? So yeah, might as well call them Easter Island heads. This is partly because of the disproportionate size of heads, and partly because many of the iconic images for the island showing upright Moai are the statues on the slopes of Ranoraraku, many of which are buried to their shoulders. Some of the heads have been excavated and their bodies seen and observed to have markings that had been protected from erosion by their burial. Oh, yeah, that makes sense, I guess. Um, the reason why they're buried is just for the fact that they kind of already noticed that stuff got eroded or corroded periodically, right? So might as well just protect that by burying buried underground, right? So like it's basically like you have those plastics when you buy new PC or like new phone. You have this plastics, right, that covers, and you don't want to remove that, right, just so that it can stand or it can survive longer, right? So yeah, there's that. The average height of the Moai is about 4 meters, with the average width at base around 1.6. So that's 4 meters, the same as the length of the stone used for the Stonehenge. And then 1.6 meter, that's somewhat slimmer than the stones for the Moai. Although I would say that probably the early width are the width is about 2 meters as well, but just because they carved it out into these statues so that it shrinks, right? It shrank into 1.6 because the point 4 they got carved out, right? But yeah, these massive creations usually weigh around 12.5 tons or about 13.8 tons each. Okay, so that's also lower than the Stonehenge, right? A little bit lighter, right? But still 13 tons. That is essentially almost 30,000 pounds basically. But yeah, although like we saw above, some of those actually got really big, right? Like the biggest one can be much more bigger, much more heavier than the rocks used for the Stonehenge, right? But yeah, all but 53 of the more than 900 Moai known to date were carved from tough, compressed volcanic ash from Rano Raraku. Oh, I see. So Rano Raraku is essentially was a volcanic mountain, right? So yeah, their ash got compressed, I guess, and then they, just took the chunk of it and then carved it out. Where 394 Moai in varying states of completion are still visible today. There are also 13 Moai carved from basalt, 22 from trachyte, 17 from fragile red scoria. At the end of carving, the builders will drop the statue with pumice. I don't know what that is. Characteristics. Oh, this one has eyes. Okay. Re-erected tough Moai at Ahutahai with restored pukao and replica eyes. Oh, okay. So this is the one that they recovered and then put upward, I guess, and then they just put the ice there. I don't know why. Maybe just for to recover the original one. Probably it got damaged real bad, so that they have to fill in those with some kind of ice, right? Replicas. Easter Island statues are known for their large, broad noses and big chins, along with rectangle-shaped ears. And oh yeah, this is also like I just remembered this is basically Squidward's house, right? Yeah, I just remembered. Yeah, Squidward's house basically. I just remembered somehow. I should have remembered that early at the beginning, but yeah, there's that, right? The Squidward's house is the Moai as well, right? But yeah. Eyes, okay. Eye sockets, okay. Symbolism. Status were thus symbols of authority and power, both religious and political. They were not only symbols to the people who erected and used them, they were actual repositories of sacred spirit. Carved stone and wooden objects in ancient Polynesian religions, when properly fashioned and ritually prepared, were believed to be charged by a magical spiritual essence called mana. Okay, there's that, I guess. Markings as well. Oh, this is the one in the back, right? Like, I think we read that already above. Basically, all this stuff in their backs, there's nothing in particular, but some of them has carvings, right? Like markings. Maybe it kind of be used as hieroglyph as well, hieroglyphs, to tell stories as well, potentially about religious stuff or political stuff in the past, potentially, right? Not political probably, but more like religious stuff. But yeah, history. Okay, this one is the map of Easter Island using Moai to show location of various Ahu. Oh, so there's multiple of them. Oh, I see. So they make this spread across the island, and then the Moai will face inwards, right? So they're just basically surrounding the whole island. That's actually interesting place to visit. I don't know where Easter Island again, but yeah. Statues were carved by Polynesian colonizer of the island, mostly between 1250 and 1500, representing deceased ancestors once they were erected on Nahu. May also have been regarded as the embodiment of powerful living or former chiefs and important lineage status symbols. Okay, so basically, if you're like a reputable person back then you will be honored as this kind of status, right? Like you will have your own personal moai, and then like as remember, right? As remembrance, basically. I think. Combat statues were moved to Ahu mostly on the coast, then erected with pukao red stone cylinders on their heads. Moai has been extremely expensive to craft and transport. Not only would the actual carving require effort and resources, but the finished product was then hauled to its final located and erected. So yeah, it takes money to move. I guess there's that. The idea has long been debunked, and now it is understood that some statues were rock carvings and never intended to be completed. Some were incomplete because inclusion were encountered. The carvers would abandon, and start a new one. Okay, so it's basically when you're bored of something, you start something else, right? But yeah, some completed statues were placed there permanently and not parked temporarily awaiting removal. Okay, so the one that is complete will be still in Ranoraraku, or the original place, right? Some were indeed incomplete when the statue building era came to an end. Craftsman, transportation. Okay, transportation. Largely treeless. Movement status was a mystery for a long time. Oh yeah, because you need the logs from the trees as the wheel mechanics, right? To roll down this kind of stuff. So yeah, there you go. It is not known exactly how the Moai were moved across the island. Probably by rope, I guess. Like I don't know, by force probably, um, or by like maybe they were placed like they were carved into cylinders and then they roll it to the destination and then they carve that out at that site, right? Maybe that's the case here. I don't know, but yeah, and then there's a lot of stuff as well. I still don't know where this is though. Is this in America? Is this in Europe? Is this Asian, African? I'm not entirely sure, or even Antarctic. Okay, there's that toppling of the Moai. Okay, toppled because of, I don't know. Maybe it's earth shaking. Okay, here earthquakes. Okay, original Moai at the Louvre Museum in Paris. Okay, I don't know if this is the original size or this is just like because the whole thing is 4 meters, right? So um, maybe this is only, it says 3/8, right? So almost half. So I would say it's about the size of human, regular average human size probably. Like if you stand, you'll probably be as the height of this head as well, I think. But yeah, removal of original Moai from Easter Island, replicas and casts. Basically people make it a replicas for that as well, right? This one is the map of the Easter Island, and then there's also this one, UNESCO World Heritage Site. Obviously, right? Because this is actually amazing. I would, if I have the chance, I would actually visit and probably make documentary about this as well. It's the only kneeling Moai and one of the few made of red scoria. Kneeling. Oh, that's actually interesting. So they're not all standing, but some of them is also kneeling, right? But yeah, Moai on the Easter Island painting by, okay, that's Spain, Unicode character. Okay, oh, this one is, yeah, yeah. This is basically the emoji, right, in your keyboard. If you watch this until this part, send me my emoji down below in the comments, right? Just to see if how many people actually watch to this part, right? So yeah, if you watch this, give me my emoji in the comments down below. But yeah, I think that'll be it for today's discussion about Moai. This is actually interesting, very beautiful art. Um, like yeah, it's very beautiful, I would say. Like again, like I probably want to visit Easter Island myself if I have the chance. But yeah, anyway, that'll be it for today's discussion of 1 year 365 about Moai. I will see you again tomorrow with another discussion. Let's just stay healthy. I will see you again very soon, and see ya.